Dear teacher, dear community, it's a privilege and a joy to share this video blog with you. Last month I held a 3-week webinar in English on sickness and healing, and it was greatly rewarding also for myself to reflect on my journey of sickness with stage 4 cancer and treatments and healing, and now also recovery and regrowth. These are some of the ebbs and flows of natural development in life. We go through cycles as an individual in our physical life, our emotional life, our spiritual life, but also as a collective we go through different phases, stages, and they can all help us wake up, and maybe wake up to something new. Yesterday I led a day of mindfulness here in southern Sweden, and there was a participant in Wake Up Malmö who asked me how it was to practice now when I wasn't a monk anymore. If it was difficult, or how I did it in life, in society. And I shared with him, obviously, those 18 years in the community is in me. It has shaped me. It has matured certain aspects in me. It has made awareness of the breath and my footsteps, my movements, as a kind of second nature that I can always rely on and return to. And I've experienced that as greatly beneficial in this time, especially when I've been in public spaces, on buses, or walking through the city, or in a grocery store. And at times I felt energy very tense, very heavy, very suspicious, in a way I haven't experienced in this society before. And so I recognized it. I accept, okay, there's causes and conditions for this state of mind, these emotions to be here. And I choose something else. I choose to come back to my body, my breath, to be in contact with the earth, rooted on the earth, and to keep my the trunk of my being upright and strong, not easily penetrated by insects and fungi, and also still letting my branches spread, leaves and flowers to blossom, to offer a little bit of light, a little bit of warmth into a cold, dark world. And there's been a little bit small contribution, and at times I've also had the joy of connecting with another human being on the bus, or going in and out of a door, and just at a moment recognizing each other. You're a human being, you want to live, you want to be healthy, you want to be happy, just like I do. And there's a smile, and there's a warmth. And so to come in contact with that feeling as often as possible is my practice. I can do it already within, but also in contact with anyone, with anything, to have that, there's life manifesting. When I listen to the birds, when I hear the cars roaring by, It's easy to create a sense of me and other, caught in the separation of the subject and the object. And so to kind of lessen that barrier, I've been practicing for many years, also on the freeways of Southern California, to remember that in all of these cars there's at least one other human being. And what is their life story? How are they feeling right now? What brings them joy? Are they on the way to work, on the way back to their family? There's a whole life history and unfolding in one person in that car that could easily be seen as a separated piece of metal, non-organic, something other than, not sentient. And so with this awareness, we can come in contact with life. We can come in contact with just the natural tendency of life to wanting to express itself, or wanting to develop, to grow. And so I had this image of a tree a lot, or maybe a fountain. The Geisha is even better. You have a natural manifestation of it. Some years ago I had the fortune to go with my brothers and sisters at Deer Park to Yellowstone National Park, and we visited some of the geishas, something like that. And obviously we visited Old Faithful, and the name is also describing its quality of predictability. And there is a hollowness in the earth, the ground beneath, where water can come through the cracks and fill up that space. And also the super volcano underneath the surface of Yellowstone is then heating the water up. And because they measure the space, they could also measure and see, like, okay, it's gonna be very faithful every 9 minutes or so, I forget how long, it will come up. Conditions are sufficient. The water has filled up again, it's been heated enough for creating enough pressure, and then so there's this nourishment from underneath, or the roots of a tree, this nourishment through the soil. It sucks up water, nutrition from the soil, and here there's water and warmth coming together. And when conditions are sufficient, but also it needs the particular size of the crack for it to come up like that. It needs a direction. It's not just nourishment and potential, but it also have a means of expression. Have a channel, like the trunk of a tree. So if the bark and the tree is cracked, if it gets cut or wounded, it's easy for insects or mushroom fungi to come in and maybe take over the tree, suck on the tree's life energy and weaken it, potentially kill it. And so how are we nurturing these elements in our own life? What is our refuge? What do we return to for nourishment, for replenishment, for warmth and life energy? And how do we channel it into our days? Where are our leaks? Where do we lose energy? Where do we lose focus? But then the geisha comes out and this beautiful fountain of hot steaming water coming into the cold air. Amazing. There's this expression, there's this flowering, or the tree with its wide branches and leaves and flowers, maybe even some fruits or nuts. I see how these three elements are intertwined, interconnected, and they depend on each other. So the leaves of the tree also absorb the sunlight, produces sugar for the tree, and there's this communication. There's not three separate parts or functions of the tree, but they operate together. And so to come in contact with how nature manifests, it really inspires me beyond concepts and ideas, and the fascination of us thinking we're so scientifically developed, and we cannot exactly describe how the tree can pump so much water out of the ground up through the trunk, how that pressure is created. We have some ideas and theories, but they don't explain the whole picture. So there's awe, there's wonderment, not to be scared of it, but to see this, the way out, to come in contact with that potential, that we're not a mechanical being, we're not living in a mechanical universe, but an energetic, spiritual universe, where spirit and matter go together, where energy and material, they manifest and they change places with each other, but nothing is lost. And so this spring, how do we want to go forth? What have we learned? What have we experienced during this past year? Maybe have a real transition. Come in contact, what have we nourished ourselves with? What is our deep taproot? What is our surface roots, wide-spreading roots? And for me to be in contact with people and to have the opportunity to practice, to sing, to rejoice with other people is a big source of nourishment, and to be able to share as well. And it's wonderful to be able to do it online, but I've also continued to teach in person. So yesterday and tonight I'll teach at a local meditation studio with a small group of people, and there's enough space and there's enough kind of care for each other. But it's not that we freeze and we're paralyzed by restrictions or by fear of virus. But what I feel is lacking in the relationship with this potential, this situation, this pandemic we've been going through and are in, is that what is bringing life? What is contributing to our health? So if that is not a key element, we see that there's been increased problems with abuse, with addictions, with divorces, with suicides. So trying to keep people safe from virus through isolation and restrictions, building walls. It also creates a lot of alienation, of separation that actually is against our nature. So I hope you're not getting too comfortable in this two-dimensional way of being. Even we can connect energetically, but that we really connect. We really take opportunity to be with the ones that we feel comfortable with, we feel safe with, so that our human heart can continue to develop, that we don't become more of a machine, that we can come back to our original nature, to see who we really are, and to tap into this potential. This is the kind of flowering, kind of a strength that our world needs right now. And we've been preparing for this. We have the capacity, we have plenty of teachings, we have plenty of paths showing us the way. So let's keep taking steps on this path and let life on this planet unfold beautifully together. I wanted to close with a song that I've been singing regularly, and me and Emma, we've been singing it together at times. It's important to come in contact with these wonderful elements of life. There is true joy right here. There is true joy right here. And I am so glad that I have found it. There is true joy right here. There is true peace right here. There is true peace right here. And I am so glad that I have found it. There is true peace right here. There is true love right here. There is true love right here. And we are so glad that we have found it. There is true love right here. May you be well, may you be happy. Love to all of you. Bye for now.